beautiful. Let's give her another round of applause. So I'm going to ask you to stand to your feet one more time. We are going to introduce the lady of the hour. Let's give her a round of applause. Our first speaker this morning coming to the stage is none other than the founder and CEO of Rehab Your Life and host of the Rehab Your Life podcast. She has taken the vision that God has given her and made it manifest, which is evident by all of us being in the room today. From the very first time we met, it was like old friends catching up. She's dedicated to helping others become the best version of themselves through Rehab Your Life. She seeks to know what your vision is so that she can help you by extending your talents and her talents and abilities and by holding you accountable for what you said you were going to do. Does that sound like somebody in the room? We are all on this journey called life together, and she wants to help you rehab your life by getting a renewed vision. Would you please welcome to the stage Miss Karen Malone. I'm short. You guys can be seated. You can be seated. Thank you so much. Ed, I think I broke it. I'm gonna just take this whole thing off. And hand you, yeah, I think I broke it. It screws on. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for being here today. I was such a crybaby earlier. I got all cute and then went in the room to pray with the ladies and just bawled my eyes out. So that's probably gonna happen again. But I just thank you guys so much for being here. I wanted to start by talking about what Rehab Your Life is. You know, I appreciate you guys seeing it on Facebook, you know, connecting, not really knowing like what this was about, but being willing to participate. And I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I am a mother of 4, one that's passed away. I am a child of God. I should have started with that one first. But mother is also very important. And I am a rehabilitation counselor by trade. I'm also a 2-time cancer survivor. And so my experience with that has been a challenging one. And I learned a few things along the way that helped me to create Rehab Your Life. I really got the word from the Lord about Rehab Your Life during Hurricane Harvey, actually. Watching people on TV, walking through waist-high water, you know, trying to get to their destination, only being able to grab a couple of items. You know, it affected everybody, you know. And so I was put into the mindset of, what if that happened to me? You know, the side effects of the cancer, I actually have an ileostomy. Most people don't know unless I tell you, but if I were to walk in waist-high water, that could be detrimental to my health. And that was medical trauma to me. I was at home watching this on TV. You know, the news had it on 24-hour cycles. And you could not watch it. And I was just stressed. I was like, Lord, you know, what if that happened to me? Not only was my oldest daughter pregnant during Hurricane Harvey, and I made sure I had the Cajun Navy's number. Did y'all remember the Cajun Navy? They were just going around. They was going
around rescuing everybody. And Raven, she was 9 months pregnant, due on September 1st. And I didn't know how to deliver no baby. So, and where the hospital was, you were taking boats to get there. And so I was just extremely stressed that whole week of Hurricane Harvey. But I prayed to the Lord, and I wanted to figure out what I could do to help other people that was also disabled. I actually don't consider myself disabled. I feel like there's still a lot of abilities that I have, but some people kind of own that. And working as a rehab counselor, we have to battle that with people to get them to change their mindset. But that was how I started Rehab Your Life, out of my want to help others that was like me, using medical equipment or devices to sustain their life. There were places that were flooded, they were moving people out of nursing homes. It was really catastrophic, and that is medical trauma. So Rehab Your Life is an organization that helps men and women who have gone through medical challenges and that need to regain control of their lives. And so, have you experienced medical trauma? So I want this to be interactive. Have you experienced anxiety? Raise your hand. Or someone that's experienced anxiety. What about hypertension? Yeah, we got people on high blood pressure medication. Substance abuse. That actually has become so prevalent in the United States that it's really a different category of disability. That's a mental health issue. What about heart disease? Heart disease is still the #1 killer of everyone in the United States, not just African Americans. What about depression? I've experienced depression. What about, anyone who is an amputee? How would that impact your quality of life? You have to totally figure out a new way of adjusting to your world without that particular limb. Diabetes? Or are you borderline diabetes? No, I'm looking good at you. Cancer? And my type of cancer is rare. I was diagnosed with rectal cancer. I'm gonna make y'all laugh, and it's probably a little crass, so I apologize, Pastor. But my homegirl Tracy, we would go for steak at least twice a week, twice a month, somewhere around there. We were on the steak train, like steak, baked potato, and salad. And so I think that was just a piece of steak that just didn't make its way all the way out. I was just like, I can't have rectal cancer. Like, what is that? Most people have colorectal, which is your colon. It was rectal. So that's a very rare type of cancer. What about Crohn's and colitis? You see those commercials where it's like you have to make sure you know exactly where the restrooms are because your stomach could just act up at any moment.
Yes, Lord.
What about MS? This is prevalent in the African American community. A lot of people just don't talk about it. And MS is where different body parts decide that they're not going to work today. How would that impact your life? How would you be able to, maintain a job and, today your legs don't work. I can't come in today. So you have to have a lot of devices and make some adjustments, but you can still live your life. And that's what Rehab Your Life is about. So, who has experienced trauma? Trauma shows itself in a lot of different forms. And, trauma is just anything that has caused you fear, fight, or flight. Any of those things where it has just been a shock to your system is trauma. The definition of medical trauma is actually in your binder. So open your binder. After the welcome page, I have on there the definition of medical trauma. Medical trauma is trauma as a result of medical conditions, illnesses, hospital stays that have caused you the need for counseling. How many people have gone to an appointment and it's just like they hurt all your feelings? You know, with this rectal cancer, he hurts all my feelings because he's got to look at where it was. Right? So with all these different conditions, you know, MS, they have to do a spinal tap for an MS. For Crohn's and colitis, they're right here with me. They have to check it out. For cancer, y'all see this bruise on my arm. This was just Tuesday. For taking blood, she couldn't find it over here, so she had to find it over here. And then I have a port in my chest. So they were like, can we access the port? I'm like, no. This ain't been used in years. No, we're not gonna let you do that. But you know, with diabetes, you have to finger prick every day. And now they have all these other devices, which remind me of the Mark of the Beast, where they, you know, scanning you from the, so that's my 2 cents on that. But there's so many ways that participating in the medical system that has caused people trauma. And so with Rehab Your Life, my goal is to help you to be able to identify the trauma that you've experienced, because sometimes we don't even really realize that we have experienced trauma. I'll give you an example.